Hello, this is Baby Lasagna and you're watching Eurovision 365. Meow.
This is Eurovision 365. I am Podrick and you are very welcome, regardless of whether you are a new or returning viewer. Thanks so much for stopping by. From the moment he was selected at Dora 2024, Baby Lasagna became a firm favourite with fans and bookmakers alike to lift the microphone trophy in Malmo, Sweden. It seemed like it was all but guaranteed, yet in the end, Morocco and Croatia had to settle for silver medal and second place behind Nemo and Switzerland. So what happened to this front runner? Well, I'm going to try and answer that with my own thoughts, and feel free to also share yours as well in the comments below. Why didn't Croatia win Eurovision 2024? Well, the short answer is because it didn't get enough points. But must be more complex than that, right? As is now customary here on the channel, prior to the contest, I look at the top 10 or so favourites to win the contest with the bookies and answer the question, can they? As always, I don't want to cover old ground, but spoilers incoming, I answered the question with an emphatic yes. Indeed, there is plenty of Croatian themed content on the channel, so feel free to browse at your leisure. Turning attention again to 2024, immediately after he won Dora 2024, Baby Lasagna topped the betting odds and did so until the 1st of April when, guess who? That's right, Nemo overtook him until the beginning of May before Morocco was reinstated as the bookies' favourite to win right up to and including the day of the grand final, and with a seemingly advantageous draw in the running order, it seemed like a mere formality for Croatia to win on the Saturday night final. But as we all know, it didn't go quite according to plan. From his first performance at Dora, Baby Lasagna was being unfairly compared to Karja from Finland, which is a bit like comparing hot chocolate with Bovril. Yes, of course, he has a similar body posture as Karja, but personality-wise they were quite different. The reason probably due to Karja being a persona of the likeable jury. Song-wise, Cha 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 and Rim Tim Taggy Dim, although having both short snappy titles, musically they were nothing alike either. But what they do have in common is that both were favourites to win the contest right up to the final, only to place second behind singers who gave very physical performances that weren't maybe as risky. Is there a pressure being a favourite? Well, there's a saying in the Vatican when it comes to electing a new pope. He who goes in as Pope comes out as Cardinal. There are lots of examples of the favourite to win the contest falling at the final hurdle, and whether that's due to pressure of expectation from fans or from self, it's hard to say. But look through the history of the contest for pre-contest favourites and you will see many turn in nervous performances. That can't be said for Baby Lasagna, as I think he belted out Rim Tim Taggy Dim with great power vocally and physically. But one could sense that he was a naturally quiet and shy individual who was more used and perhaps more comfortable to be backing a singer with his guitar rather than being the frontman. When we chatted at Eurovision in concert in Amsterdam, I asked him how he switched off from everything, and he shared that he prayed and meditated. This would suggest to me that there was a certain expectation placed from himself and perhaps from others about winning the whole thing that perhaps weighed heavily on Marco, who took much needed time out to reflect and ground himself. Indeed, such was the confidence in the Croatian camp that they had block booked the arena in Zagreb. That must have been a lot of pressure. Many people, myself included, wanted Croatia to win Eurovision 2024, and most of us were quite vocal about this. I think Baby Lasagna would have had to have been living in a cave without Wi-Fi access to not be aware of the momentum around him. Was this pressure ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back? When you look at the performance from both the semi-final and final, the sheer amount of love, support and goodwill flowing towards Baby Lasagna, especially during that moment we all did the vertical karate chop in unison, can't have been unnoticed by him. Indeed, he spoke of how this made him feel afterwards. What a moment for him and for us as well. As I've already said, he gave a tremendous performance and really didn't put a foot wrong. I loved his costume, which blended beautifully with the depth of the song. So, if musically nothing was wrong, What was it that hampered Baby Lasagna from winning outright? It was said tongue-in-cheek at the start of the video, but ultimately Croatia's downfall was the voting. I don't think anyone expected Croatia to win the jury vote, but I'm not sure anyone was expecting Switzerland to clean up quite so much with the jury. However, finishing third in the jury was looking promising for Baby Lasagna. With 210 points from the jury that included 2 deux a point and 8 points from eventual winner Switzerland, things were looking promising. Turning to the public vote, although Croatia topped this vote with 12 points and at least 5 points from every nation, in the end Morocco, who despite an impressive 337 points, was just 14 points ahead of second place Israel, who scored 323 points from the public. Nemo placed 5th with the public with 1 deux a point received from Ukraine. So despite the hype around Baby Lasagna winning the public vote, on closer inspection he wasn't a runaway winner with the public. As we already said in our video about how did Switzerland win, Switzerland were hardly a runaway winner either, clinching the gold medal or microphone trophy with just 44 points ahead of Croatia. In a modern day Eurovision, that's virtually neck and neck. I think that ultimately the reason why Croatia didn't win is because of the exclusion of the Netherlands. That might sound strange, and I don't want to get into the decision to exclude Joost Klein in this video, but I think had the Netherlands have been included in the grand final, the voting would have been much different in that grand final. Joost Klein scored 182 points in his semi-final compared to Morocco's 177 points, so it could be argued from a points perspective that the Netherlands outperformed Croatia. However, for Joost to win their semi-final, they would have had scored more than 194 points. Interestingly as well, Switzerland placed 4th in that semi-final and received 112 points from San Marino. I still think that Croatia would have won the public vote at the grand final, as for me it was a much more accessible song, but having the Dutch there would have meant, I think, that the Netherlands would have held their own with the public vote and in turn would have taken votes away from other contenders, namely Switzerland. Don't forget, Switzerland were 5th in the public vote. The reality is that we will never truly know what would have happened in the public or indeed jury vote had Joost Klein have taken part. Perhaps the gulf between Switzerland and France would have been greater in the jury vote. We'll never know, but I do think the Netherlands exclusion was a big factor here. That all being said, I am very happy that Switzerland won, as I've already mentioned in the previous video. I would never disrespect Nemo. However, Baby Lasagna would be forgiven for thinking what might have happened. On a positive note, Morocco returned to Croatia the day after Eurovision to a hero's welcome and rightly received adoration from his fellow citizens. One could tell how much it meant to him, and perhaps the pressures of being favourite could finally be released, as he was seen to be emotional on stage on his return home. Croatia and Morocco can be rightly proud of their amazing achievement. The best result in the 31-year history at the contest being on the split screen at the end of the voting, and ultimately Baby Lasagna has made a lasting impact on the music scene and is enjoying success with a tour beginning at the end of July 2024, and we here at Eurovision 365 are delighted for him and proud of how he has handled everything. So there you go. That's my thoughts on why didn't Croatia win Eurovision 2024. Let me know your thoughts as well in the usual way. Thanks for stopping by this time, and until the next video, take care and bye bye.